everyone, and welcome to the OklaRoots YouTube channel. In today's embroidery video, we're going to be unboxing the May Perfectly Pieced box, which comes to us from Me Time Delivered. So if you're new to the Perfectly Pieced box, let me just let you know, this is a quilting embroidery monthly subscription. It's so cool. You have two options. You can have a goodie box delivered to you in this beautiful orange box every single month with lots of materials, threads, little extras, things like that. And then you will also have access to the digital files, which you'll use on your embroidery machine. Or you can just do the digital files every month if you've got a lot of your own stuff. And there are also projects. So every month has 4 different block sizes, a 2-inch, a 4-inch, a 6-inch, and an 8-inch block size. And each one of those block sizes has its own project that goes with it. So this is like a really fun, crafty monthly box. If you have an embroidery machine and you love quilting and you also love sewing other items, this is just a fun monthly craft to kind of keep your sojo going, you know what I mean? So typically I have sewn the blocks beforehand, but I didn't do it today. I know what the design is. I know it is a pinwheel design, which I've done as a quilter, so I'm excited to do that. I think my plan for today is I'm gonna make 4 4-inch blocks, and then we're gonna sew them together into a little like snack tray. That's what I'm gonna do. It's one of my favorite things to sew with these blocks. It's like a big coaster, so you can put like your coffee and your cookies on it. So that's my plan for today. But first what we're gonna do is we're gonna unbox this. We're gonna stitch out some of the blocks, and then I'll show you how we just sew it all together, put a backing on it. And then you have a cute little snack tray, which is a great little gift as we go into summer and we go into barbecues and all that fun stuff. Or just when you're sitting at your sewing machine and you want a place to put your drink and your cookies. So thank you as always to Me Time Delivered for sponsoring today's video. If you guys are interested in signing up for this box, whether it's the physical box or the digital file, I will have a link down below. Don't forget that there's also like a monthly Christmas kit where you're making these little villages, which are so cute. Also, they have their twice a year Bella box, which is so pretty. We just unboxed that recently. So if you're interested in any of those, I will have links down below. You can go check them out. All right, guys, let's get started. All right, so let's take a peek inside this month's box. Open it up. We have May 2023, Perfectly Pieced. On the back of this is gonna tell you everything that's in this box. Oh my goodness, look at these fabrics. It's so summery and 4th of July. I love this blue here. That's so cute. So there's usually a little card with a little tip on the back of it. Let's just take a peek at all of these fabrics. I am loving these. This red floral is so pretty. Yellow! Yellow is one of my favorites. Oh, I love that. And then a nice kind of neutral, and then a nice solid blue. This is so cute. It looks like a tablecloth, doesn't it? And then another solid blue. And you'll notice that there are different cut sizes. That's because they're supposed to be used for different projects. So some projects might require more fabric than others. So this way you have enough of what you need for the projects that are included in the kit. Next, we have some thread. This is buttermilk. It's a glide thread. This is what we'll be using for embroidery and piecing today. Oh, this is so cool. This is a blank USB thumb drive. If you have an embroidery machine, you probably know you go through these a lot. We have a lot of files we put on these, and you plug it into your embroidery machine. This is beautiful too. Let's see, it's 512 megabytes, so you can hold some good patterns on there. And then finally, we have the instructions, which is really nice to have a printout, so that way if you don't have your computer around or your tablet or anything like that, you can have this printout, you can just go through this. And like I said, it gives you lots of fun little projects that you can use depending on your block size. So this is super handy. Look how pretty that is. Isn't that beautiful? That's a cute little mini quilt. Okay, so let's pick what we want for our blocks first, and then we'll go through all the other stuff. Let's see, this is how the one block ends up looking. And it's hard to tell what it's going to look like when it comes together. So you see it's just a bunch of triangles, but then when you put it together, you have this really cool pinwheel effect. So I'm gonna make 4 of these. So what do I want for the large piece? So you can see this piece at the top here, that's like a white, that's gonna be our neutral, and then the large piece will be like the pinwheel. I think for the main part of the pinwheel, I want the gingham, or this plaid, I guess it's not gingham, I don't know. I want this plaid look. And then I think for this accent, I'm going to use a blue. And then I feel like, is that too much? I think I'm gonna use the same background that they use. So I'm gonna use this white as this top piece right here. All right, so here's most of what I'll be using today. Of course, my embroidery machine. I like to use the Brother PE800. It's affordable, it's easy. I can only make the 2-inch or 4-inch blocks on this machine because of the hoop size. The hoop I'm using today is for a 5x7 size. I'll be using the glide thread provided. And then these are embroidery scissors. You can see they have a nice little curved edge here. This makes it a lot easier to clean up and everything. You're gonna need something like this. And then my stabilizer today is the Kimberbell Ultra Light Mesh Cutaway. This is great stabilizer. You can see I already have some batting cut, so this size is going to depend on the block size you're making. Since I'm making 4 blocks, I have 4 cuts. And then I also went ahead and cut all my material, 4 of each one of the cuts, because again, I'm going to make 4 blocks. And then finally, a little mini iron. We do press this while it's in the hoop, so you do want a small iron. My regular iron would be way too big. I wouldn't be able to press this at all with it, so a small iron is necessary. So the first thing we want to do is add our stabilizer. So I always just like to kind of roll it out like this, put my hoop over it, making sure I have stabilizer extending past all 4 edges. And then I'll grab a rotary cutter and just slice it down just like that. And then lay your outer hoop down, put your stabilizer on top of it, grab your inner hoop, and then insert the inner hoop into the outer hoop. If you need to, you can kind of give a tug on your stabilizer to make sure it's all nice and taut. And then just tighten up your outer hoop. So once you have your file loaded and your hoop installed, we're going to run the first step, which is going to provide placement for our batting. Once you have the placement step done, take your batting and cover the entire stitch area with the batting, and now we're going to stitch down the batting in place. Now take your hoop out of the machine, and we just need to trim off any excess batting. So I like to just lift it up and just trim as close as you can to the stitches. You don't have to be right against them. You can accidentally cut the stitching or cut the stabilizer. You don't want to do that. So just cut close to the stitching. We're just removing this excess batting. Once you have the batting trimmed down, now put the hoop back in the machine, and now we're going to stitch placement for all of the pieces. So now take your pattern piece 1 and you're going to lay it right side up so that it's completely covering the triangle on the right as well as the square stitching that's on the top, the right, and the bottom next to it. You can use some tape here to make sure it doesn't move around on you, but now we're going to stitch this in place. Now take your hoop out of the machine, and on the top left corner here, this little mini triangle, we're going to trim that off. So again, just lift it up and trim close to the stitches. So now you're going to grab pattern piece 2 and you're going to lay it right side down and take one of the short edges and lay that so that it's right side down against pattern piece 1 and the short edge is matching up with that stitch line. I do find that my pattern piece is overhanging off the side of the hoop, so just be careful about that. Once again, if you need to, use some tape here so it doesn't move around on you. Now put your hoop back in the machine and stitch down pattern piece 2. Once you have this stitched in place, flip pattern piece 2 so that it's right side up. And when you do this, it should cover this entire top triangle as well as the top edge of your square stitching. And just give it a little finger press. And then grab your small iron and press right along that seam. Now put your hoop back in the machine and we're going to stitch down placement for pattern piece 3. Go ahead and take your hoop out of the machine and we're going to trim off the excess. So anything to the bottom left of this stitch line on pattern pieces 1 and 2, we're going to trim those down. And finally, take pattern piece 3 and we're going to lay this right side down on top of the other 2 pattern pieces so that the long edge matches up with that stitch line. And now you can stitch down pattern piece 3. Once you have it stitched in place, just gently pull back pattern piece 3, give it a good press with your fingers, and then press right along that seam with your iron. Make sure the whole unit is nice and flat. Now put the hoop back in your machine and you're going to stitch down the final shape of the block, which is just the final square. And this next step is completely optional, but now we're going to do the quilting step, which is going to create a nice design on our finished block. Once that's done, go ahead and take your hoop out and then take your pieces out of the hoop. And now you can see there is a finished square line right here. That's the finished size of your block. For me, it should be 4.5 inches by 4.5 inches. I'm going to grab a ruler and I'm going to line up the 4.5 inch mark grid lines on the left and the bottom with those stitch lines on the left and the bottom. And then I'm going to grab a rotary cutter and I'm just going to trim down the right and the top, just like that. And now I'm going to rotate my block. And then once again, using the 4.5 inch grid marks on my ruler, I'm going to line that up with the left and the bottom. These are now the cut edges. And then I'm going to cut on the right and on the top. And there is one finished block. I know it's a pretty simple design on its own, which I still think is actually really pretty, especially with the colors we used. But this block is one of those blocks that really pops when you put it together with other ones. So I'm going to go ahead and repeat, make 3 more of these, and then I'll meet back with you. Alrighty, so I have 4 blocks completed, and then I cut myself a backing piece. This is 8.5 inches by 8.5 inches. So now we get to do the fun part, which is arrange your blocks. You can see you can do it all different kinds of ways. You could create like a cool rectangle. That's really cute too, isn't it? Okay, but I'm gonna stick with the pinwheel design. So pinwheel design goes like this. The white part goes up, just like that. And then the white part's gonna go on the right. Then over here, the white part goes on the bottom. And then on the left side, the white part goes on the left. Just like that. Now you see, it's like a pinwheel. Isn't that cute? So what I'm gonna do is sew all these together. So I'm gonna start with 2 rows. I'm gonna sew the top row and the bottom row. So taking these top 2 blocks, I'm gonna lay them right sides together and try to remember which edge you need to sew. So you might just wanna put a clip there real quick. Same thing on the bottom. I'm gonna flip them right sides together and just quickly put a clip on the edge I know I need to sew. There we go. And now just line up corner to corner on that edge and add some clips so it all stays together. Do this for the other block combo. And you can see how the batting doesn't go all the way to the edge. That's why we had to trim it down, because if you have the batting going all the way to the edge, this becomes very bulky and difficult to sew. We don't want to do that. So this way it's nice and thin there. So now I'm going to take both of these to the sewing machine, and I'm going to sew along each of these clipped edges at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So once you have these sewn together, go ahead and press them open and rearrange so you have it the way you want. I love this pinwheel, it's so cute. So what I like to do is I like to push one seam to one side and the other seam to the other. This is gonna make more sense when we flip this together. So let's see where they're gonna line up right along this line here, and then flip these 2 rows right sides together. And looking from the top, you see I have 2 seams. I don't want them going in the same direction because it gets very bulky. So I'm gonna push this top seam over to the left and the bottom seam to the right, and I'm gonna line them up right where those seams intersect so they kind of hug each other. And I'm gonna put a clip there first, and then I'll clip out towards the corners. And by focusing on that center seam first, you're gonna make sure all of your points kind of line up together. So now let's sew along this clipped long edge at a 1/4 inch seam allowance. All right, and we have it sewn together. Open it up. How beautiful is that? That's so pretty. So now what you can do if you want, you can lay these 2 pieces wrong sides together like this, and then you can see it ends up like that, and you can bind it kind of like a little mini quilt. I love doing that, but I also like kind of a quick and easy option, which is taking both of these panels and laying them right sides together, and then clipping around all 4 edges. Now take one side that you're gonna leave open, and I'm going to leave, let's see, 1, 2, I'm gonna leave a 3 inch opening just on the bottom of one of the edges centered. That's all, just mark it so that you know not to sew there. So now we're gonna go around the entire unit sewing at a scant 1/4 inch seam allowance, which just means just under a 1/4 inch seam allowance, because we are gonna be turning this, top stitching it, just less than a 1/4 inch seam allowance, except we're not gonna sew between these 2 marks. So back stitch here, go around. Once you come to the other mark, make sure you back stitch and then be done leaving this little bit here open. All right, once you have these sewn together, go to the corners and clip the corners off at a 45-degree angle. You should not be cutting the stitching, okay? So the thread that you just used to sew these together, you should not be cutting that. You're just cutting close to it. And you can always kind of angle it off too a little bit. I find that helps with really getting these corners out, but we want to be gentle here because we don't want to accidentally cut a hole in our corner, because then it's ruined, right? No good. All right, once you have the corners trimmed down gently, turn your unit right side out through that hole that you left, very gently. We have thin material here. We don't want to hurt anything. And now this is my corner poker outer of choice. But once you turn it out, you want to gently poke those corners out. Don't push too hard because it is very easy to rip the stitches, to rip the fabric by just putting too much pressure on that corner. So I am very, very gentle as I do this. So now you can press this with an iron to get it nice and flat. And then what you need to do is fold down these raw edges in on themselves as best you can. I always like to start there and then use some clips to clip them in place. We don't want any of these raw edges poking out in our end product. All right, so now if you'd like, you could just top stitch over this opening here and be done, or you can do what I'm gonna do is top stitch over the opening and all 4 edges to just give it a nice flat finish. I'll be top stitching at an 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. And there you go, how cute is that? You could also go ahead and stitch in the ditch, which are just stitched right in these seams if you'd like to make sure that this is nice and attached. I think this is fine, and this is so cute. And I'll just show you, it's the perfect size. Maybe you got yourself a nice little cup, little cup of cup of coffee, maybe you got yourself a couple little cookies, you just set it on there, and that way while you're over here sewing, you have all your treats and yummies right next to you, and it's not making a crummy mess everywhere. It's staying right here on your little placeholder. Isn't that adorable? I love this. There we go. That is the May perfectly pieced block. I think this is so fun. And again, you can make really big projects. You can make a big quilt. You can make a bag. You can make lots of big projects with this. But if you're like, you know what, I want to make it, but I don't want to commit to a really big project, then just make something like this, or just use one block and make a coaster, or use 4 and make a coffee and cookie coaster. You know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of options. It doesn't take a lot of time. It's really easy. Most of the work is done for you on an embroidery machine. So I love these. This is a great monthly little sewing boost. You know what I mean? So I hope you enjoy this month's Perfectly Pieced. I hope you're having a great day. Have a fantastic rest of your week. Get out there and make something. Bye, guys.